I
Yeah,
happen to
first
know
period.
he was sick.
He's giving me.
And that didn't come from him, that came from the administration. Because I checked on him.
He's skipping me. He's on sick.
Well, he was in my class, this year he's not in my class.
He's not letting me feed him.
So he's not supposed to be in here. I think I asked you to move, Daniel.
Either way, who cares about
Let me see your
ISS?
feet. You want me to sit over there? Look up.
Not with them, no.
We're doing work.
Okay. For the body of the crime, facts that prove a crime has taken place. You got a gun, you got a body, you got blood. You got
That's
a
a
crime.
piece.
Elements. Specific conditions that must be met in order to have it. Each element must be proven in order to obtain a guilty conviction. Can you just go in and say, Cindy's wearing pink, she's guilty?
Yeah.
Can we do that?
She's guilty.
No, we cannot.
She shot my dog.
Well, then you would have to take her to civil court and prove it.
Or the judge. I can prove it. And you'll say, show me over.
Okay.
Blood on your hand.
Some of you are missing this one. Felonies are the most serious crime. They are punishable by at least 1 year in crime. Over a year, it's a felony. Some of you got confused about that one. Okay? Over a year, it's a felony. Less than a year is a misdemeanor. The kid that said that he was going to shoot up the school has been charged with a misdemeanor, $5,000. Yes, it is.
No.
Class A. It was a class A.
He's been arrested and charged with a Class A misdemeanor.
Imagine, how is it a terrorist? It should be more than a misdemeanor.
Well, they didn't find a weapon on him. Had it been, it would have been a weapon. So he has a $5,000 fine and can serve up to 1 year in jail.
Well, he goes with my
Okay. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know that's what. I don't think he finds it very funny right now.
He's like, no, he does, miss. He's like, I'll do it.
Okay. And some of you,
He's like,
your parents thought it was serious enough, even though it was handled on Thursday, that you should stay home on Friday, even though it was all handled on Thursday.
What if it wasn't him?
But it was.
It was a setup.
But it was.
it's like, it's a day old.
Okay. Offenses or infractions, minor violations, are they less or more than a misdemeanor?
Yeah, but
Are infractions or minor violations of the law, are they less or more than a misdemeanor?
So what?
Dulce,
Yeah.
answer my question, please. Answer my question.
What was the question?
Oh my God.
The question is an infraction or offense, is it less or more than a misdemeanor? Less. Okay, so you will have less time. It's subject by fines and maybe limited jail time. You could be charged with an offense or a minor violation and get a fine and spend the night in jail. It could be or it could be more. Guys, stop. Joseph,
No, I'm looking at the board.
but close your mouth. Legal defenses can be divided into two broad categories: justification defenses and legal excuses. Legal defense is justification. So as self-defense and necessity. There was a court case in Boston not too long ago, and this particular woman lived in a really bad part of town, and her 2-year-old daughter had been shot. And it was like a drive-by or just, it was random. She was shot and killed. Well, of course, the mother's devastated because she doesn't like drugs, she doesn't like drug use. Point blank shot him 3 times dead. It went to court. The judge didn't like it, and he said, you may not plead that there was a need here to prevent other crimes, because you can do that. I'm doing this to prevent other crimes. He said, you can't use that defense. You cannot use self-defense, that you were defending yourself or others. You cannot use the insanity plea. So basically, they were taking it all away, because sometimes, like for example, you're in your home, somebody breaks in and your parents shoot the person dead. They broke into your home, and in Texas, you have the right to shoot them because they broke into your home. There are certain things that you can do. If someone is attacking your family and you shoot them or hurt them or beat them with a baseball bat, that can be necessity to protect your family. However, you never know how the judge is going to rule. In this particular case, the judge said, now the jury was told you cannot use necessity. You cannot use self-defense. You may not use it. You may only use the fact that she killed him purposely with intent. They acquitted him. Could have gone the other way. The judge was mad and wanted to, was not happy. Okay, so does everybody understand self-defense necessity?
Yes.
Some people could say, nowadays, well, she said a word I didn't like and now I'm offended. We're getting into a society that necessity says, because you wore a shirt I didn't like or a color I didn't like or you said something I didn't like, I can't stand it and now I have to hurt you because you know, no. Okay, you have the right to defend yourself without provocation. Reasonable and necessary. The Texas Castle Law, 2007, that is the law that said in Texas, you break into my house, I can shoot you. The end. Or in my car. Sometimes there's a legal excuse. If the defendant, and this is different than intent, can show they should not be held criminally liable for the offense because there was no criminal intent. Legal duress, infancy, mistake, involuntary intoxication, and insanity. I was mentally insane. I was not competent. We don't process 5-year-olds for murder. Duress. There have been times somebody has held a family hostage and said, if you don't go get money from your account, if you don't go rob the bank, if you don't give me the keys or the combinations or the codes, then I'm going to kill your family. That is called duress. If it can be proven that the person was truly under duress, they can get a lesser charge or possibly be exonerated. Doesn't work often. But harming, basically duress is if somebody's threatening to harm you or your family. For example, you're driving the car and they have a gun to your head and say drive. They may or okay. If you are underage, that is so sometimes they decide to try a child at 15 or 16 and say we're going to try you as an adult because you had the legal mindset to commit this crime. You can be 10 years old in the state of Texas. Joseph. Well, no. We just need to not be rolling around. The whole thing is that
What did you just say?
don't be rolling around.
No, not that.
In the state of Texas, you need actually something about the lesson.
Yeah.
Like take it.
The age of criminality is 10 for liability. So you can be 10 years old and try as an adult.
Go. Women, you don't take cake. You know who takes cake?
No.
Hey, man. Who like?
Okay, if you have let me go on, and if you have a thing that actually,
I'll do it. It applies to the state.
if it does apply, honey, guys, if it applies, it's relevant on here.
Okay.
Table one matching time.
Yeah.
What about it? What do you do?
You know what rapper he got? He was a rapper. He got sentenced to 55 years in prison for murder.
Didn't you get licensed? I mean,
No, he's
that's-
What do you do? I'm assuming he killed
That's
somebody.
happened.
What, I mean, just because he killed somebody?
Yeah. No, and then he had house arrest, and then he cut up, and then he did arrest, and then he just fired out. And he said,
biscuits, came on McIntyre.
I missed that one.
And then he beat up his innocent dude. And then
He's the ring.
and they caught him.
We'll say in Dallas.
Yes.
Stop talking.
I'm already finished with my exam.
Alright, but
Lying down.
But
Peter,
well,
what
you
about your
should have taken your exam. We're not told to take your exam. But you weren't supposed to.
But he didn't. And then there's another thing.
But we're still going over stuff, which means you can feel free to completely ignore me if you want to. But don't sit there on your phone.
He killed someone. He killed someone and those other things were really like.
Alright, we'll tell after.
I mean, I'm interested in getting this case off. I do.
And there was like 5 people, and then he was like, there was one kid, and it was like 5 people, and then he didn't see his shit until he was there, and that was another thing, like a big thing.
So intent.
Yeah, it was like a lot of cases, and then,
Roll over
Hey,
there.
yo, Daniel, get the door.
and then,
Saritza.
he wanted to, or,
Saritza, your friend at the door.
55 years in
Your
jail,
friend at the door.
and then,
Oh, good Lord.
and there's still another case going on.
It's your friend.
You get it, yeah.
Nobody never opened the door and I really don't think.
So,
They wouldn't get up to let you cancel. I did.
you say thank you?
Well, she's all comfy there, so see, she
No,
would.
no, no.
But these two yahoos, I thought could roll their chairs since they like to roll around in there. But I told them they could go with her in. Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. A mistake can be divided into categories of mistake of law and mistake of fact. Mistake of law, you'll need to know this, is if a person was not properly informed that such a law existed, or if the law is vague or unclear. Sometimes laws are unclear. Sometimes we have laws on the books that don't even pertain. For example, did you know if you own a cell phone, there is a surcharge on your cell phone that funds the Spanish-American War? 1800, it's still there.
What?
Somebody passed a law, and if you look on your cell phone, it's like 3 cents or something. But 3 cents times everybody that's got a cell phone, that adds up. Okay? That's a law that really should be taken off the books, but nobody has done it.
What do you mean 3 cents?
What is it?
It's a,
3 cents?
it funds the war on your cell phone bill. And I saw it. I found this out in American history last year, when I was teaching American history. It's a cell phone charge for the war. You'll find it if you go to look at your bill.
Why? Why do you have to?
Why do they have it? Because somebody hasn't passed a law to say it doesn't exist anymore, so it's still a law. There are laws that say on Sundays you can't walk a donkey downtown. Well, how many people are walking donkeys at all downtown?
Yeah, but how many people are walking donkeys on a Sunday?
See, there you go. So the law is not really relative anymore. But there are obscure laws in every state's books. Mistake of fact is used if a person intentionally commits a crime due to an incorrect information. Taking someone else's bag that looks like your bag at a luggage carousel. That happened to my dad once. My stepmom was coming into town, went to the airport, picked her up, got her bag, came home, my stepmom opened her bag and went, "This is not my bag." Looked just like bag, but it wasn't her bag. That is a mistake of fact. Well, I don't know back then what it said, and it still happens from time to time. That is a mistake of fact.
Mr. You been to those luggage auctions?
No. Or, well, but it is. Or, like how they have the storage units, that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, that's
Voluntary intoxication. There have been people that have been roofied, or someone has put something in their drink. They didn't realize what was going on, and they accidentally drove and killed somebody. If it can be proven that you were involuntary intoxicated, that you did not know alcohol was in your drink, you can be are not convicted, but that's tough to prove. Insanity. They do not use this very often, but sometimes they will say an insanity plea. The person was crazy when they did
They
it.
do that with the shoe.
They can, but it doesn't work very well most of the time.
Black.
Okay, Okay, the McNaughton rule, if it can be proven that the person really did not know, let's say you have someone that's special needs, and they did not realize that whatever they were doing was gonna cause a crime, they really didn't know. They can choose not to prosecute. This doesn't happen very often, but it is an insanity knowing the right from wrong. You should have these in your notes. Irresistible impulse test, insanity. They couldn't help it. That doesn't work very well either, but it can under certain circumstances. I don't have an example of that. The Durham rule. This is the one where mental disease or mental defect. Basically, if you
Today? Oh.
Peter.
Today's the time, right?
Joseph, go. Go. Joseph.
Well,
I'm not kidding. I want you to go back over there. I want you to go back. Out in the hall. Okay, the Durham rule is the insanity rule. If a person can be proven that they had a mental disease or a mental defect,
Peter, give me.
okay, the substantial capacity test, you have to know these. A person is not responsible for criminal behavior if the commission of the act is a result of mental disease or he lacks the capacity either to appreciate the wrongfulness of his conduct or to conform his conduct to the requirements of the law. Make sure you know this one. It's a combination of the two, please, because I don't want you to miss it on your test. Entrapment. Inducing a person to commit a crime that he or she would not have committed without such inducement. Okay. This is where it gets a little dicey sometimes. How many of you heard that sometimes police officers dress up as drug addicts or drug dealers to get people to buy drugs? That is undercover, but you have entrapment. It has to be very careful or they can rule that you were entrapped. Well, basically, they have to follow certain specifics to get this done because it can be ruled entrapment, basically meaning you induce a person to commit a crime that he wouldn't have done it. Like, for example, if I were...
Like peer pressure.
Peer pressure has something to do with it, yes. So you have to do it in such a way that you're not convincing an unsuspecting person to do something they normally wouldn't do. Okay? Alibi, you have to follow rules, and I don't know that you can do that. An alibi defense, if that, somebody dies, they want to know where you are. You are sitting somewhere where there's cameras and they see you, they can say you didn't do it. You have to have an alibi. Okay, does anybody have any questions over chapter 3? Finally, I'm done. Are you finished with those?
You could have been doing that the whole time.
I need no more.
We're fixing to do Kahoot.
Let's go.
What do you need me to do? How do you like it? Hang on. Good? Yeah.
Peter.
Okay, we're gonna do Kahoot for just a few minutes to try to remind you what you're doing. Yes. Oh, wait, no.
Ricardo.
Oh, yeah?
Okay. What?
Yeah, bro, you look like a turtle, man.
Bruh, I do not think about it.
Dude, be like, yeah, what? Very trouble.
Oh, the heck?
Oh, for once.
Should call them, where's Waldo?
Hey guys, get your computers out and go to the review, please. We are going to do a chapter 3.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're going to do a review for 1, 2, and 3. I'm hoping by doing this again and giving you an extra day, it's preparing some of you that okay. Here's your code. Sign in, please. Sign in. Right up there.
Whoever's baby number 2, they're really dumb.
Everybody should be logged in by now. Over 1, 2, and 3. Jill, say, are you there? Did you get there, please? Are you there? Okay.
Yeah. And then every time they open the drop sheet, I haven't been doing that. That's like the first one.
What?
In the other stuff, they put like one.
Oh, yeah, she's so mean on Tuesday. I don't like that.
Okay, that's not.
Okay. Guys, you need to put your names in here, or in some way that I can recognize you. And what I can do is I can turn this into a grade if you have to take it seriously. So don't, just sign in.